The quiet conversations, the way he'd nod when I got something right. The will reading was scheduled at his lawyer's office downtown. I came straight from the repair shop where I worked, still wearing my work shirt with my name stitched above the pocket. Lauren arrived 10 minutes later in a tailored coat and heels that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Mom and Dad flanked her like they always did, proud and protective. The lawyer, Mr. Caldwell, was an older man with silver hair and a calm voice that filled the room without effort. He adjusted his glasses and began. To my daughter, Ellen, and her husband, Robert, I leave my savings account totaling $250,000. Mom smiled politely, but I could tell she expected more. Dad frowned and almost spoke up to demand more, but one look from Mr. Caldwell and he put his head down. To my granddaughter, Lauren, Mr. Caldwell continued, I leave my entire classic car collection, including all vehicles stored at my residence and secondary garage properties. Lauren gasped and squealed, covering her mouth as Mom grabbed her arm. The collection has been professionally appraised at approximately $9 million. Mom actually laughed, a bright, delighted sound. Dad clapped Lauren on the shoulder. That's my girl, he said proudly. I felt something tighten in my chest, almost like I'd been betrayed. But honestly, I should have expected this. Lauren always got the big things, and my parents didn't waste a second before reminding me that. Mom turned to me with that familiar, sympathetic expression she'd perfected over the years. Well, she said softly, though not quietly enough, you've always been better with your hands anyway. But don't even ask for a handout from Lauren, because you won't get one. Dad chuckled. You're better off sticking to your mechanic job. Less complicated. You wouldn't know what to do with actual money anyway. Lauren smiled at me, not cruelly, just casually, like this was all perfectly natural. I stood slowly, figuring that was my cue to leave. Maybe Grandpa left me one of his old tools. That would have been enough. Young man, please sit down, Mr. Caldwell said firmly. We aren't finished. Something in his voice made everyone pause. I lowered myself back into the chair and covered up my surprise. He reached into his briefcase and pulled out a second folder, noticeably thicker than the first. Mom's smile faded immediately. What you've just heard, Mr. Caldwell said slowly, was Mr. Franklin's will, dated 2020. However, 6 months before his passing, he created an additional trust. The room went silent. Mom shook her head almost immediately, like she already knew where this was going. To my grandson Daniel, Mr. Caldwell read, his voice steady, who showed up every Saturday without being asked, who never treated my time as an obligation, and who never once asked me what any of this was worth, I leave the following. My investment portfolio valued at $21 million, the commercial property located at 1785 Westfield Avenue, and a personal letter. My hands went cold. Mom's face drained of color. Lauren's smile vanished. Mr. Caldwell handed me an envelope. My fingers trembled as I opened it. Daniel, the letter read, if you're reading this, things likely went the way I expected. Lauren inherited the cars. Your parents told you to keep working.